Get ready to buckle up because you are going to start landing interviews so fast once you implement my top 7 cover letter tips designed specifically for lawyers that I'm going to share with you today. Welcome back. If you're new to this channel, I'm Annie Little. I'm a former lawyer turned career coach, and I created this channel for lawyers who are looking for a practical process for finding and landing their ideal job. All right, so let's dive right into these top 7 tips. My first tip for you is to write a cover letter. This is not something you should skip, and I've heard all the excuses. Nobody reads them, or there was no way for me to submit one. It's not like I'm mailing a cover letter on top of my resume anymore. Fair enough. But let me tell you, there are so many ways to create a cover letter that you just may not be thinking about. And because so many people think that they don't need a cover letter, you're going to stand out just by providing a cover letter. So I just want you to change the way you think about what a cover letter is. It can be a formal letter written on letterhead, but also consider that when you're sending your resume to someone, maybe through a referral, or if they're just having you send by email, that email itself is your cover letter. So don't waste that space. And you'll also find that with many job applications, they have a place for you to upload a cover letter. Or maybe they don't say it's for a cover letter, but it's like, here, you can upload some files here. That's where you upload your cover letter. And even in ATS, applicant tracking systems, they will sometimes have places for notes or additional information. That is where you can put in your cover letter. All right, tip number 2, you want to create interest and curiosity about your resume. So I love to think of cover letters as the movie trailer for the movie that is your resume. So think about the last time you saw a good movie trailer. It got you excited to go see the actual movie. Did it tell you the whole story of the movie? No, it told you the most interesting parts to get you curious about learning what happens next. So the same concept applies for writing your cover letter. You do not want to summarize your resume. They're going to get to your resume if you create that interest. But if your cover letter just reads like a summary of a boring resume, they're not even going to bother looking at it. Tip 3, call out any perceived obstacles to hiring you. Okay, so you might be thinking, what does this even mean? What I'm talking about here is when you apply for a job, you tend to understand what makes you best suited for the job, but you also have a sense of why they may not think you're the best fit. I like to think of this as when you put your witness on the stand and bring out one of the worst things about them so that the other side doesn't have the chance to do it. So when you're doing this on your cover letter, what you're doing is you're bringing it out into the open so that if it were something that the employer might be thinking like, not really sure about this one, you bring it up, you put it to bed, and they're then able to focus on what makes you a great candidate. Tip number 4, show them that you have what they want. Notice I didn't say tell them you have what they want. So your first thought is probably, how do I know what they want? Great question. The job description. Yes, the job description. And I know it seems a little obvious, but if you really go through the job description with a fine-tooth comb, you can see all of the hard skills and the soft skills that these employers want. So let's take communication as a soft skill example. So let's say that's something that they bring up a lot in the job description. You definitely want to explain to them, or rather show them, how you are a great communicator. That doesn't mean that you tell them you're a great communicator by just writing it on your cover letter saying, hey, I'm a great communicator and I know that you need a great communicator at your firm or your business. And hey, I'm that great communicator. That's telling them that you're a great communicator, which kind of shows that you're not that great of a communicator, right? Because we're trying to show them. We need to connect the dots for this employer so that they can see the benefit of having you on their team as a great communicator. So one of the best ways to do that is to contextualize your soft skills in a story that highlights when you were a great communicator and positioning it in a way that the employer can see how that situation would play out in their organization. Tip 5, explain why you want to work for them specifically. All this means is that you need to do a little research to see what the recent developments are for their organization, see what they're about, see what's important to them. By doing that, you're demonstrating that you understand what sets them apart from everyone else and that you recognize them for that, and it's part of the reason you want to work for them. Tip number 6, match your tone to their tone. Okay, this might seem kind of wishy-washy and vague, like what am I really talking about here? What I'm talking about is I want you to see how they are presenting themselves in public spaces, especially in like their job posting, on their careers site, on their webpage. You can get a sense of whether they are formal or maybe they're a little informal. They might be clever. You might get a sense that they kind of have inside jokes that they're letting you in on. Some are really funny. Some are kind of quirky, and they do that so they can attract people with that same sort of vibe as them, and also to see if you can match their tone and show that you're a good fit for them. And if you feel like their tone doesn't really match yours, that doesn't mean you need to squeeze yourself into their tone to try to make a case that you're going to fit there, because maybe you won't fit in there. And maybe it's a good thing to notice that now, and then you don't have to waste your time or their time applying for this position. And the last tip I have for you is to speak their language. As you're looking through their social media, looking at their careers page, their website, their mission statement, their value statement, look at the words they're using. Look at the jargon that they throw around. Is that something that you can integrate into your cover letter to show them that you get them, that you understand their industry, that you understand their culture, and that you fit right into it? So when you can speak their language, it's so much easier for them to imagine you in the workplace. And if you're looking for more guidance on how to communicate your value and your skills to an employer to show them, hey, I could fit in here, I encourage you to check out my free masterclass, 3 simple strategies to uncovering any lawyer's transferable skills. I've put a link in the description below. So I want you to know this, that since I started coaching lawyers all the way back in 2012, when they start implementing my tips for writing cover letters, not only are they getting more interviews more quickly, but they actually kind of enjoy writing their cover letters. And I would love for you to have that experience too.